Swipe that card and you just painted a target on your back. One tap, one signature, and a chain of machines, companies, and strangers know where you were, what you bought, and how much you spent. That trail is the backbone of modern surveillance. Data flows like blood through bones, merchant to processor, processor to bank, bank to data brokers and risk engines. Every node stores, scores, and sometimes passes your purchase along to systems that build a profile on you. This is not panic. This is anatomy. You want to reduce visibility. You want practical moves you can actually do in the next 24 hours. I'll give you 10 purchases that commonly raise automated red flags or create high-value intelligence points, and exactly how to blunt those signals with legal, practical measures. Download the quick red flag checklist in the description if you want the one-page version while you watch. 1. High-value luxury goods, watches, jewelry, art. Why it flags you? Big-ticket status symbols are easy signals. They stand out on transaction feeds. Algorithms treat them as outliers that deserve review. Who sees it? Merchant, card processor, your issuing bank, data brokers that tag luxury spend, and sometimes insurers or regulatory units depending on the country. Mitigation? Pay cash if local laws allow and the seller accepts it. Use a vetted dealer who offers private sales and limited paperwork. If you must use a bank channel, split the payment across multiple legitimate invoices and insist on minimal buyer metadata when possible. If you must, keep receipts, document provenance, and consult a tax or legal advisor. Don't hide purchases. Legal funneling is different from evasion. 2. Real estate purchases and vehicle down payments. Why it flags you? Property changes hands rarely and in large sums. It creates long-lived records tied to identity. Car and house purchases create title records and registrations that live decades. Who sees it? Sellers, escrow agents, title companies, banks, mortgage brokers, credit bureaus, and public records offices. Mitigation? Use formal, legal structures where appropriate, a business entity or trust that you lawfully control with clear paperwork. If paying in cash, conduct the transaction through escrow and ensure all reporting requirements are met. Consider working with trusted local agents who prioritize buyer privacy. If you must, expect public records. Get legal counsel to structure purchases legally and to handle disclosure and tax reporting correctly. Large international wire transfers and remittances. Why it flags you? Cross-border movement of funds trips scrutiny for AML, anti-money laundering, and sanction screening. Big or frequent wires are magnets for review. Who sees it? Originating bank, receiving bank, payment processors, corresponding banks, and compliance units that may interrogate the purpose. Mitigation? Use formal channels and clear paperwork, invoices, contracts, or statements that justify the transfer. Where possible, break recurring obligations into smaller, regular payments that match business activity. Consider local banking solutions or regionally trusted intermediaries that reduce repeated cross-border spikes. If you must, keep documentation that validates the transfer's purpose and consult compliance counsel if the transfer is sensitive. 4. Cryptocurrency fiat on-off ramps. Why it flags you? Buying or cashing out crypto through exchanges links your fiat identity to on-chain activity. Large or frequent fiat moves attract exchange compliance checks and reporting. Who sees it? Exchanges, payment processors, banks handling fiat legs, and KYC AML vendors that track on-off ramps. Mitigation. Use regulated exchanges with clear compliance channels and keep records. If you want privacy-minded crypto use, learn the difference between on-chain privacy and off-ramp traceability, and never assume crypto erases ties to you. Consider peer-to-peer platforms with in-person legal exchanges only when appropriate, and always understand tax and reporting obligations. If you must, report gains and losses correctly. Consult a crypto-aware accountant. Avoid illicit markets and never use crypto to conceal illegal activity. 5. Firearms, ammunition, and regulated gear. Why it flags you? In many jurisdictions, weapons purchases trigger mandatory background checks, registrations, or reporting. Even if lawfully purchased, these transactions are high-sensitivity items in databases. Who sees it? The dealer, background check vendors, state or national registries where applicable, and payment processors that flag regulated merchant categories. Mitigation. Follow the law. If privacy is your goal, shop through legal, reputable dealers and use the required legal channels. Pay using a compliant method that the dealer accepts. Consider cash if allowed, but be ready for statutory reporting where it applies. If you must, complete all legal paperwork. Do not attempt to circumvent background checks or registration requirements. That crosses into criminal conduct. 6. Expensive medical procedures and reproductive services. Why it flags you? Sensitive medical spending paints a detailed picture. High-cost procedures, elective surgeries, or specialized care can be both high dollar and high sensitivity. Who sees it? Providers, billing processors, insurers, clearinghouses, and health data brokers. Even if you self-pay, the billing and merchant systems can retain transaction traces. Mitigation. Pay cash where vendor policies allow and where it won't trigger mandatory reporting. Use a trusted facility with strong privacy policies and minimal data sharing. When dealing with insurers, ask about minimal disclosure options and anonymized billing where available. If you must, keep careful documentation and understand insurer and local reporting rules. Consult patient privacy advocates or counsel before seeking unusual privacy measures. 7. High-end encrypted communications hardware and security devices. Why it flags you? Buying specialized comms gear or advanced security tools can appear on merchant risk lists as tools for evasion. The combination of high cost and specific merchant categories draws attention. Who sees it? Retailer, payment gateway, distributors, and vendor partners. Some devices are also tracked in niche vendor directories. Mitigation: if you need secure gear for legitimate work, journalism, activism, corporate security, buy from reputable vendors and declare professional use. Purchase through your organization's procurement where possible, or pay with business accounts tied to legitimate credentials. If you must, document legitimate need. Avoid buying gear to commit unlawful acts. Use vendor warranties and support channels to maintain lawful use. 8. Cross-border or last-minute travel bookings and one-way tickets. Why it flags you? Unusual travel patterns, last-minute international flights, one-way itineraries, same-day multi-country itineraries can trigger risk scoring and border attention when combined with other data. Who sees it? Airlines, travel agents, booking platforms, payment processors, and border control databases that ingest travel manifests. Mitigation: book through trusted travel agents or platforms that allow discrete billing. Use cash where feasible for ancillary services. Avoid patterns that look intentionally evasive. Stagger trips and keep travel documents consistent. If you must, carry full supporting documentation for travel purpose. Be aware that border agents have access to booking and payment traces. 9. Large cash deposits and sudden account spikes. Why it flags you? Banks are wired to notice abrupt deposits or spikes in account activity. A healthy account with sudden large inflows or outflows looks unnatural and invites investigation. Who sees it? Your bank's fraud and compliance teams, internal monitoring systems, and potentially regulators if reports are filed. Mitigation: if you expect a large influx, notify your bank proactively with documentation that explains source and purpose. Use legal business accounts for business activity and separate personal and corporate funds. When possible, plan the timing of deposits to align with regular financial flows. If you must, keep receipts and contracts. Be prepared to show source of funds evidence. Know that cash deposits may still prompt inquiries. Transparency is safer than evasion. 10. High-risk merchant categories and bulk resale purchases. Why it flags you? Certain merchant types, gambling platforms, adult services, some online marketplaces, and bulk buys that suggest resale can trigger enhanced monitoring and merchant risk scoring. Who sees it? Merchant acquirers, payment processors, credit card networks, and downstream fraud detection partners. Mitigation: if you run legitimate resale operations, register a business, use proper merchant accounts, and keep clean invoices.
For high-risk services, use privacy-focused but legal vendors and minimize stored payment details. If you're a consumer, consider alternative vendors or cash transactions where appropriate and legal. If you must, maintain transparent bookkeeping. Misrepresenting the nature of business activity risks legal exposure. Quick mechanics note: across all of these items, the path is roughly the same. The merchant records sale details. A payment processor packages the transaction and sends it to your bank through card networks or wiring rails. Banks compare activity to historical patterns and to third-party data. Data brokers may ingest merchant receipts and attach behavioral tags. Compliance engines flag anomalies, and depending on local laws, reports or holds may follow. You're not fighting a single enemy. You're dealing with an ecosystem built to spot deviation. Tactical mitigations that apply everywhere. Use cash where it's lawful and practical. Cash is blunt but effective at reducing persistent digital traces. But understand, cash does not erase legal obligations. Large cash transactions can still require reporting. Don't use cash to hide criminal behavior. Separate identities and metadata. Use distinct email addresses and phone numbers for different categories of purchases. Don't let a single account link your travel, your banking, and your online shopping. Minimal metadata reduces the ability of algorithms to stitch your profile together. Limit stored payment data. If a merchant asks to store your card, say no. Remove saved cards and devices after purchases. Each stored token is another joint in the skeleton of your trace. Train habit, not hacks. Privacy wins through repeated, simple practices. Choose cash when it makes sense, use unique vendor emails, keep receipts offline, and routinely audit what merchants have your data. OPSEC. Immediate moves if you think you've been flagged. First, monitor. Enable instant alerts on every account and card. Watch for unfamiliar holds, increased verification requests, or turn down transactions. Second, lock down. Replace exposed credentials, rotate critical passwords, enable multi-factor authentication tied to a hardware token where possible, and remove stored payment methods across your accounts. Third, document. Save receipts, transaction IDs, and merchant contacts for any disputed timeline. Ask for written confirmation from merchants when you request removals or privacy exceptions. Fourth, consult. If a bank freezes an account or files an inquiry, get legal counsel with experience in financial compliance. Don't improvise responses that risk criminal exposure. Fifth, reduce repeat signals. Avoid repeating the same high-risk behavior across platforms. One odd purchase is manageable. Patterned odd purchases are where the machine decides you're an outlier.
Mini climax, the top risks and no-nonsense moves. 3 purchases cause the deepest, longest-lived visibility: purchasing regulated goods like firearms in jurisdictions with registries, buying real estate or vehicles that create public records, and moving large sums across borders. These are not theoretical threats. They create documents and registries that persist and are searchable by default. Immediate moves if you need to act now. Pay cash where lawful, use formal escrow for big transfers, and hire counsel before completing transactions that may trigger regulatory review. Structure legally, document thoroughly. Trying to disappear after the fact is far riskier than planning privacy within the law. Common objections and straight answers. But I don't have a crime to hide. Visibility equals vulnerability, even for lawful people. Sensitive purchases expose you to fraud, doxing, pricing discrimination, targeted scams, or unwanted attention. Reducing traceability is about reducing attack surface, not hiding wrongdoing. I'll use tech to be anonymous. Tech helps, but it doesn't erase the off-ramps, banks, sellers, and physical records. Use tech paired with legal, real-world practices: cash, minimal metadata, and proper documentation. I heard specific dollar amounts trigger lists. Ignore exact thresholds. Systems are complex, adaptive, and proprietary. Design your behavior around patterns and visibility, not chasing or avoiding a magic number. Checklist: what to do today. 1. Audit. Check your last 90 days of card and bank activity. Highlight large or unusual items. 2. Alerts. Turn on instant transaction alerts for every card and account. 3. Remove. Delete stored cards from merchants and payment apps you don't trust. 4. Cash. Start training to use cash for discretionary purchases that matter. Keep receipts. 5. Separate. Create distinct emails and phone numbers for sensitive vendors. 6. Document. If you expect a big transaction, line up invoices, contracts, and counsel first. 7. Backup. Store critical receipts and transaction proofs offline in a secure location. 8. Consult. For any planned regulated purchase or large cross-border transfer, speak to a lawyer or compliance advisor before sending funds. Final legal note, short and sharp. Always act within the law. Using cash is legal in many contexts and reduces digital traces, but it does not waive reporting requirements or legal obligations. Never use these tactics to conceal criminal activity, avoid taxes, or circumvent lawful investigations. Recap: visibility is vulnerability. 10 common purchases: luxury goods, real estate and vehicles, international wires, crypto on and off ramps, firearms and regulated gear, costly medical services, secure communications devices, unusual travel bookings, large deposits or spikes, and high-risk merchant or bulk resale buys. Each one creates a vector into your life.
Each one can be mitigated with lawful, practical tactics: cash where allowed, clean documentation, business structures where appropriate, minimal metadata, and professional advice when the stakes are high. If you want that one-page red flag checklist, grab the PDF linked in the description now. It's the fastest way to turn this briefing into muscle memory. Subscribe for a deeper guide if you want detailed vendor lists, compliant escrow options, and templates for pre-transaction documentation. Protect your life like a survivalist protects shelter. Build habits, carry simple tools, and know when to call a professional.